I'm so used to shit. All right. Well, I'm so used to not using Blog Talk anymore because Celestial is supposed to call into the show. Of course, it would be the anniversary show that I forget to push go live. I'm glad you said something. I could have just been talking for like an hour and like nobody will be able to see it. All right. Well, welcome to the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show, guys. Well,
hey,
a little bit late. Sorry about that. We apparently I forgot how to do a show. 10 years later, I still don't know what the fuck I'm
doing. I was listening to you earlier when you were talking about you were nervous and all that. It just took me back to those first couple of shows that were at the house, and it just made me giggle. I was like, "Yep, I remember those days."
Yeah. So, I get a message from Howie. I don't know where Dennis is. I'm gonna message him. Go, what the hell, dude? So I get a message from Howie, asking me if I wanted to come on to the radio, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm thinking like local radio type stuff. I'm like, oh wow, you can get on the radio. So it was Dennis and Matt's show, Full Spectrum Radio
on URN.
Yeah, URN Radio Network. Mm-hmm. I believe it was their Monday night show.
Yep.
And it was a 2-hour show. And I think the hey CR, what's going on, buddy? I'll see you on Tuesday. I think the first guest was actually Steve Dills from Transcend, and he was talking about Hanover Tavern or whatever. And they come to us, and I'm fucking pacing. We're at his house, Howie's house. I'm pacing the floor. I am so nervous because I'm going to be on the radio, and I'm not a public speaker. Anyone who went to the Paracon at the Exchange Hotel in 2013 would know I am not a public speaker.
Well, thank God for railroad trains, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Half my speech was covered up with railroad train. I almost said radio train. So, they have Steve and they do this interview, and then they have like a break. They play a song. I'm super nervous, man. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And they bring us on, and like I don't know if it was like Tourette's or whatever. But I kept saying yes, sir, to Dennis, of all people.
Right.
Because I didn't really know Dennis. I don't even think I even met him yet. Because the first time I met him was actually at the Bump in the Night event at Henrico. So I'm not sure if I'd even met him yet. And I was just, my heart was pounding out my chest pretty much. And that was my first foray into the radio thing. I don't even know what we talked about, to be honest. Maybe Bill Nemus, probably Bill Nemus, I would say.
I think it was Bill Nemus. I mean, usually I don't forget a lot of things, but back in the day, that's one of my elephant things. I'm like, what the hell were we talking about? I don't remember. I think it was Bill Nemus, to be honest with you, brother. I do believe.
I think I think so too. Because it was around the time that we'd first started going out there. So I think it was 2013. I'm pretty sure the show started in 2014, which I was nervous because I went on the Blog Talk site and it said 9 years ago. I'm like, that's not right. Because I knew it started in 2014.
Yeah.
Because it was like started the year, like I started investigating with you guys in 2012.
Hey, Evan. Yeah.
Hey, Heaven, how's it going? Thank you for watching. And then, so 2013 was like the whole year.
Yeah.
And then we started the show in 2014.
Right.
So I was looking up the dates and I was trying to go Google the timeline. I was like, oh shit, am I on the wrong date? Oops, sorry. Sorry, guys. It's no longer the 10-year anniversary. It's now the 9-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, no, it's got to be 2014. Yeah, we started the show.
2014, and I still remember. Now, if you're talking about the show itself, I remember the first show that you did. Now, the incident that I would bring up was the second show. The first show, I remember how much coffee you drank. We were sitting in the dining room. We had the 2 seats and, we were doing it through the computer and you were just down in the coffees. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Your face is kind of like it is right now, all red. I'm like, are you going to have a stroke on me, man? He's like, no, we're good. No,
That'd be a first. First show, first stroke.
And I think got to give props to Amber. I know she's not here, but Amber really pulled that weight on that show. And it kind of, I think having Amber as your co-host on that first show really helped you. She made things so easy for things. She was still free soul, just open, balls to the wall. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that hour, and you're like, just looking at me like, dude, this is your thing. I'm just
going to a 2-hour show.
It was a 2-hour show. Yeah, that first hour was hell. And then
the why I thought coffee would be a good idea when I was already nervous as fuck.
I don't know, dude, but you were sucking it down. I know we went through 2 pots that night. And I know that for a fact. Because I was stepping out going, I need a cigarette. I need another cigarette, and we were worried about connecting. We were worried about sound and the speakers. And it was just like everything kind of went smooth. Mm-hmm. And I'm really happy for you too. And Amber was able to connect on really well. And, you did the show twice. The first 2 shows were from that house. That was some great memories, actually. Same place we used to do evidence, and it was kind of like a good starting point. It
was an awesome time. I always enjoyed going over to your house and looking over evidence and doing the show. I remember Dennis had put out a post on Facebook about wanting someone to come take over the Monday night slot. I think I talked to Rhonda about doing it with me.
Rhonda
Montgomery, yeah. And she was like, all right, yeah. And then I don't know, something happened and she wasn't able to do it.
Right.
But I still wanted to do it. I'm like, I'll try it out, And I don't know why I did, honestly, because I'm not the kind of person that does that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But something, I don't know, was like, why don't you just try it out and see, or, like, I couldn't tell you why I decided to do it.
But I know how many times you asked me, should I really be doing this? I don't think I can. I'm sitting going, you can do this. Get out of your head. You need to do this. It's going to be good for you. I remember all of that, the chaos that you put yourself through. And like, dude,
I mean, I still put myself through the chaos. That's just part of my life. I saw that
tonight. I'm like, some things never change.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I think I have a guest coming on who wants to pop in for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and add her to the show.
Gotta pop in.
Hey, Ryan.
Silent CC, Celestial McBride, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am doing good. Of course, you're silent, CC, so you probably shouldn't be talking right now, but I'll let that slide.
Happy 10 years.
Oh, man. You know what? I was like I was saying earlier in one of my Facebook posts, I'm like, dude, this show would not exist if it wasn't for my awesome co-hosts like yourself, because it's, I can only do so much, and I would have burnt out if it wasn't for you guys. So I definitely appreciate all the time you've spent with me on the show. We had a lot of fun together.
For sure it was.
Man, a lot of cool guests we chatted with. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'll definitely bring you back for the 20-year anniversary. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, count me in for that.
Awesome.
I'll be silent until then.
Hell yeah. I mean, I would ask you what you've been up to, but I've been checking you out on Facebook and stuff. How is life treating you?
Oh, it's pretty good. We're up in San Fran right now, so.
Nice. Well,
yeah, it's not bad.
Awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate you calling in. I know you've got stuff you got to do, so I'll let you go.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
All right. Well, I love you, and I will see you soon.
Love you too.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Celestial McBride, one of my friends. She helped me out for a few months.
Yeah. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
She has a very similar energy to Amanda. I will say that.
Yeah.
You know, I think you and Amanda, you've had and do have a lot of great co-hosts. So, give that.
I've been lucky with that.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Amber was good for me because I was not ready to be a head co-host. And she took it,
We broke you in, dog.
She was, full speed ahead. And you got me used to it, and then Wolfie came in and she was great. She was a good co-host. And we meshed well together.
Yes. I agree.
And she came to the show at a point where I was starting to get my feet under me. But doing a 2-hour show by yourself was just hard to do.
It was hard back in the day. Even though it was Blog Talk Radio, it was still hard.
Yeah.
You couldn't see us, but we still had to stay on our toes. We had to think. We had to respond. And, you're really good at that because you're really good at listening as they're talking to grab your questions. And, it's never changed. I think that's one of the things that people need to hear about that one.
It's never easy when you don't have a good guest, or the guest is, where if you don't have the good chemistry with your guest and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about for 2 hours?
Yeah.
It's not really a problem I have that often because usually we have pretty good guests on. But sometimes it's like, it feels like you're pulling teeth when you're trying to, so having a good co-host to be able to ask questions or like get a conversation started when I can't really get it done is always a plus. So we went from Kristen, and then she started working somewhere else and she couldn't come on. So it was like 2 or 3 months I was doing the show by myself, and I was burnt out, dude. I was seriously about to stop doing it.
Yeah.
And I got this team come on from Black Mountain Paranormal. And the leader of the team was this girl named Holly Mullins. And I talked to her before, like on Facebook and stuff, setting up the show and stuff. And we had the show, and just the way she talked, that down home, country accent, country mama accent, like she would make you from fried chicken or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I've got to talk to her. I've got to see if she'd want to come on and do the show. And I remember talking to you about it.
Yep.
And when you said, yeah, it's a great idea, man, I sent her the message, and I'm like, dude, do you want to come on and do the show with me? And let me tell you what. So if the show was at like a 5, level, she took it all the way up to the 10. I mean, she just it skyrocketed, and it helped my confidence out, being able to do things with her, play off of her. We had some amazing shows. And
look at the stories. Before we go too far, we've got to talk about it because it'll lead us into the woods. You'll get this.
Yeah.
So your second show, we're trying to find where Amber is. We're calling her, you guys, and we're like, she's not answering. What the hell is she doing? And
I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh, I could do the show by myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm not getting on air. This is your show. So we're finally on air. We get him on air. Everything's going good, but there is no, hey, B, there is no Amber. We're like, oh, man, don't tell me she's dissing us. What the hell's going on? Blah, blah. We finally get her on the phone. So we're talking. Well, Ryan is talking to her and getting ready for the show and discussing. And all of a sudden we hear tinkle, 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 tinkle. And then it's a solid stream. And Ryan's like, what are you doing, Amber? And I'm like yelling out, Amber, what are you doing? Are you in the bathroom? She goes, leave me alone. I'm taking a piss. First piss on air. I was like, dude, if this starts how your show's going to go, you're going to go a long time.
It reminds me of that scene in the Naked Gun, where the guy goes in and with the Jesus taking. So that's just one of the things that happened on the show.
one of the many. Amber getting locked out of her apartment, getting locked out of her car. What other crazy stuff?
Maybe the show cursed Amber. That's why she went away.
Yeah, maybe
Because
so.
like, fuck this shit.
And then, of course,
God.
okay, so you had Kristen to follow up, and Wolf did an amazing job. But then again, now we're in the Holly era. That's what I like to call your era, is the Holly era. And there was a conversation y'all were having, and I was listening in. I think I was at work, actually. And y'all somehow got on a discussion about being in the woods and, using the bathroom or scratching a tree. And, we did one of the classic Ryan Holly turns where you went somewhere, right turn, Clyde. And then she brought up the terminology that made us laugh for at least 20 minutes. She was talking about the notorious wood booger.
The woodworker facials. That's
yeah, that came out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I had
that was one of our Halloween shows where we just sat there and shot the shit for 2 hours, and
it never failed. And I'm like, "You have some of the most incredible co-hosts to come out of the left field and do some of the craziest shit." That was
definitely more of the dirty phase of the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show.
There's a little twist in there.
We had Dr. Rebecca House will come on the show, and when we talk to her, she's out there, great girl. But we had a 2-hour show about masturbation, and how Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show got her talking about that. But it was a fun show. I'm not going to lie, I certainly enjoyed it.
Think about it when you first started the show, when y'all were going through names and the original show to what it is now. Think about it. We had no idea what FAPs were over in England.
Oh God. I
remember that?
I'm like, dude, shut up.
That's when it was Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show.
Yeah.
And then we realized, and Ryan comes like, "Do you know what that means, man?" I'm like,
I don't fucking know. I don't know what it means.
FAPs.
You know what? If people want to do that to this show, they can go ahead. More power to you. I am happy I can help.
It was awesome
with your daily activities. So
you remember that? Yeah. That set the tone for being here now, dude. 10 years. I think
it was. I went back, and it was the very beginning. It was Freakin Awesome Supernatural Talk. Fast. And like our theme was like a race car or whatever.
Right, yeah. We had the 80s neon Tron. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, why we changed it to the masturbation one, but it worked out pretty good.
Right?
Worked out pretty good. So Holly left. We went our separate ways. She started her own show, and I needed another co-host. And I didn't know who to call. And then I was talking to my friend Amanda about it, and she graciously decided to join the show. Mm-hmm. And she's actually in the queue right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on.
Amanda,
what's up?
Oh my goodness, it has been too freaking long,
gentlemen.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I haven't seen you in 10 years, but I can see you.
I was good. Well, I turned my lights off, my big light off, and I was like, I don't even know if they could see me, but okay.
It looks good. Looks like you're like in a black light room or something.
Yeah, I got like tapestries everywhere, and
I love that.
LEDs and.
From when you started the show, how much into the paranormal were you, compared to right now?
Compared to now, like I look at myself then and I'm like, I was at like a 0 because since then I had a really bad wreck and I kind of had like a near-death experience. And after that, what I thought before like was a 0 and now it's like 12. So I went from, I thought I knew a lot of things, but now I'm like, okay, wow. Like it opened up a whole new perspective for me.
When did you have that car accident, Amanda?
It'll be 2 years in March.
Okay.
Man.
Are you
So
still
next
down,
month.
are you still down near Radford?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I'll be seeing you soon.
At St. Albans.
Mm-mm. No, but I will be in Roanoke.
Oh, okay. Y'all
Yep.
we need to do another investigation at St. Albans.
We need to do another Vibe Radio event out there. That was fun, especially doing the karaoke and stuff out there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, you last time I talked to you was on Snapchat, and you were talking about how you embraced your witchy side. When did that start coming out? Was it after the accident, or was it before then?
Well, see, I've always, like when we were at St. Albans before, like that one night, I've always felt spirits and stuff. Like that one night I got sick and I had to go home. So it's always been intense, but since then, I've found out I can do a lot that I couldn't do before. I've always been able to astral project. However, I couldn't, like, I knew I was, but I couldn't control it as much. And now I can, I'll wake up the next morning and I've got a whole 2 pages of journal entry that I have no idea that I even wrote, but apparently I wrote it or my soul wrote it, while I was astral projecting. And it's very, very interesting to see, to witness that kind of thing.
That is, I think Holly said she had an accident when she was a kid that was a near death experience, and she said after that happened, she started experiencing things too. You had an accident, Howie, if you don't mind me saying, you had an accident when you were younger.
Actually, I'm a two-time NDE, believe it or not. And it happened. The first accident was in 2017. I had taken my Caprice Classic at the time into 4 trees at about 120 miles per hour. That was pretty bad.
That's always a good thing to do.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk too much about that because it bothers me and Rhonda. She was there. And then my other NDE actually happened when I was 4. I had got into a pillow fight with my brother, and it was dawn feathers, and I had sucked them all in and got rushed to the hospital because,
choking on feathers.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And, I remember Amanda, Ryan talking to me about you, and from your 0 point to hiatus it's really amazing and good to see, because Ryan's like, look, I got a friend down in Radford, and he was talking about you all the time. I'm like, cool, well, I'll have to hook up or sometime. And here you are, and you're like way up there. That's I like that, because that's reminds me of me and Rhonda, because I was Rhonda's biggest supporter when it came to mediumship, and I knew she always had something, and here she is. I'm just so proud of her, and like I am with Ryan. Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. I could tell when she first started out, she was nervous, and of course, like I was, and again, she was nice enough to do this for me, help me out, and like by the time we went our separate ways, she was just right there with me, and her growth was absolutely amazing. And we talked to a lot of fun people, a lot of cool teams and stuff, and of course we had our one of the Vibe Radio Network events at the St. Albans and stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Allow me to be the host, since this is your anniversary show, and let me go to both of you. What kind of things have you two encountered together? I'm sure some people would love to hear that. Amanda's on.
God, we had some.
Yeah. So the bowling alley's always at St. Albans. You remember that,
Mhm.
Aaron? We're all down there playing.
Yeah. We got some great EVPs down there. All of our stuff, has happened at St. Albans. We were at an investigation and you got really sick during the investigation.
Oh, got affected.
Yeah, like, and that's the first time that had ever like really happened to me. Because I'd been in St. Albans. I don't know. I mean, I've grew up here, so I've been in there. I don't know how many times. And that night in particular, I don't know whether I was just super sensitive or if it was just really strong, but whatever it was, I got so sick that I had to leave. And as soon as I left, I was fine. So it wasn't like a virus or anything. It was definitely supernatural, whatever it was.
Right. Oh, I've seen and heard cases of visually have seen some effects, so I can understand.
Yeah. See, I've always been super like receptive to that kind of thing, but like here lately, like my grandma's been in and out of the hospital, so but I'll go to the hospital and like the doorways, I'll just be walking down the hallway and the doors will start glowing. And I've learned recently that it's energy, that I'm like seeing energy. But yeah, I've been diving into a lot of things that I didn't even think I was capable of, and it's still it's all new to me, but it's very I'm here for it. I'm interested in all of it. I love it.
So what was it like investigating with Ryan? Was he a good teacher?
Oh yeah, because I had never really done many investigations like that prior. I had always wanted to. I was always very intrigued by it and everything, but I had never seen like listened to the EVPs or sat there and like did dialogue with a room, an empty room and stuff. So yeah, he did.
Well,
or empty, so we thought.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he definitely was a really good teacher with all that. Made me feel super comfortable when you're sitting there talking to yourself in an empty room at first, because at first it's just weird. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You're talking to yourself in an empty room.
you should have seen Ryan the first time.
It's weird until the voices start talking back.
Right.
It's she did a great job. And it does feel kind of strange when you're sitting there and you're asking questions and you like, am I asking the right questions? You don't know. What's up, Valerie? How are you? Hey, Tiffany. But we had some great times. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the crew on here. First, she helps me out on the show all the time. She is a great co-host. She is Rhonda Harris Doughtly.
She is Rhonda.
Welcome.
Howdy.
And from Minnesota. Let's bring them in, guys.
From Minnesota.
You got CR Zarn.
What's happening?
And of course, the latest co-host with the most, bringing it to us from Pungo Paranormal. Let's bring in Sarah Hall. Hey!
From Henrico.
Hey.
Sarah.
Hey.
We need that music from yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or like that.
You hit him up, lit him up high. You hit him up.
Oh,
Hey guys, how are y'all?
we are good.
Good. Hi,
We are
Amanda.
Hi, how are you?
Doing
Good. How
well.
are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, CR.
How's it going?
Hey, Rhonda.
Hello. CR looks like he's out in the snow or something. We
Huh?
CR.
Oh, I'm in my garage. I'm having a stogie.
Ah,
I'm glad you could join us. So going in order here, Amanda, then of course Angie joined the show. She's back there. She's in the room, and she helped me out for a few months. But then she started a new job, and she wasn't able to do it anymore. So I started doing the show by myself again. But by now I was a little more comfortable doing it, and it was only an hour show because we started splitting the shows up. One of the things we did when we started, Holly and I started the Vibe Radio Network, was we instead of doing it 1 2-hour show, we split the 2 hours into 2 shows, so we can add more shows to the network, and we were able to we weren't able. What are you pointing at?
Rhonda, because we did the same thing.
Yeah, see, yeah,
We're like, screw this 2 hours. Let's just shut it down to an hour.
yeah, and I am so glad I did that, because again, an hour is not as easy to do compared to 2 hours. I don't know if I would have made it 2 out to 10 years if I had to do a 2-hour show. Sometimes
2 hours is a long time.
yeah,
Some
it is.
guests it works
No
with.
idea.
Some guests it works with, but then there's some where you're just like, oh my God, what am I going to say?
Please
next?
Yes, there are those guests that like talk a lot, and I love it. I am so here for those guests. But there's also guests that like literally don't say a word. Like you have to like continuously ask them questions in order for them to talk.
Yeah, you have to have a pair of pliers to pull your teeth out. You're like,
Yeah.
2 hours of that, I don't know, Ryan.
But
Howie
some
and I-
shows,
Howie
some
and I-
shows, some shows at the end of 60 minutes, you want to keep going.
oh,
Yeah,
There was a
yeah,
few
like
where
our
Howie-
show.
Howie would I would take a 7-minute break, like right at the top of the hour, mostly so he could have a stogie. And I would walk out with, he would go out and I'd walk out, it's like, shoot me now. What are we gonna do for another hour?
no. Get the string, some floss, we'll make it happen.
Right?
That was that's why it's always good to have a co-host.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
so I started, I don't know what was going on, but I was like, we started talking to CR, and I think it may have been a Darkness Radio chat or something. I talked about people wanting to come on the show, and you'd messaged me about it, and we were talking about haunted Minnesota, and I mean, you seem like you enjoyed it, so that's why I asked if you wanted to come on and help out, do the co-host thing, and luckily for me, you said yes. So now we've got CR as one of my current co-hosts, and tell me about your experience, like how because it hasn't even been a year yet, but do you feel more comfortable doing the show and doing stuff? And because you have your own podcast and everything, what do you think has changed between when you first started till now?
Well, I've always liked to talk. My cousins call me Chief Talks a lot, and it. I don't know. Public speaking is hard for me, but if you get me, like, I can control what goes on my own podcasts, and we can control it. And I think it's just finding someone to talk to that's like-minded, that has the same ideas,
Gotta have that chemistry
to put it out. And for me, it's just finding friends that do the same thing makes it easier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's when people talk about, I'm so nervous about doing this show and everything. It's like you said, it's people talking about what you're interested in, and being able to ask questions and engage with people that are doing the same or interested in the same kind of stuff that you are.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing about being able to do this show. And what you and Howie, you and Rhonda do, which I cannot give enough stress how big of an influence Howie Odell was on this whole thing. Him and Dennis were huge. Like Amanda was talking about, I was a good teacher. Well, that came from Howie, and being able to give people this platform to talk about their experiences, to talk about talk about their teams. That's what I love. I love talking to, you know, the more famous people and getting their perspective and stuff. But the best part is being able to, you know, talk to local teams and get them to talk about their evidence and stuff that maybe they wouldn't be able to talk about before. So yeah.
I mean, you think about it, we got into this and look at the wonderful people you have put on this journey. You know, we've given people opportunities, and that's really what it's about. I mean, let me go back to Amanda. Amanda, from the time that you started to now, what do you think about the show? What about Ryan, how it's come?
Yeah, it's gone. I mean, it's came a long way. I mean, not that it was bad at first, but I mean, you can just tell how much more comfortable everything is now, and it's just easy. It's way easier, an easier flow and everything than before. Even though you say you're still nervous. I mean, I was nervous coming on here tonight, but I guess that's just normal. But yeah, you could just tell as a host, you're just so much more relaxed, even though you might not think you are, and like it just flows easier with you now. And yeah, you can definitely tell it's 10 years in the making.
And see, Ryan, all these people you have around now, you may have given a future to. Sarah might end up having her own podcast.
Well,
who knows what Amanda do? Rhonda is on so many directions. CR is rolling his thing and supporting you. Dude, you have given people direction. You've given them a platform.
And you're also a huge supporter of the people that work with you, Ryan. I mean, I don't think any of us can say how like lucky we feel to have you as like in our corner. You're constantly, if we're not doing the show, you're sharing us out for other things. You're like one of our biggest cheerleaders. You're really good about supporting us in every way you can.
You know what? I'm going to say this real quick. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say Ryan's an asshole ever in my life.
No.
You know, you got to give the man the credit due. He's fundamentally sound. He, you know, dude, you give everybody mutual respect, and that deserves to be noted. I'm just going to throw it out there, dog.
Well,
Kevin,
talk like that, but you know.
Kevin said Ryan is the bee's knees, which you really are.
Well, thank you for that.
Well, I would have never ever thought about having my own show if it wasn't for Ryan going out and saying, hey, you know, if you want to try this. And it wasn't just hey, you have to have a paranormal show. It was, I've got airtime. You know, if you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, try it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said to me too. Heaven and I want to start our own podcast, and so, you know, I was talking to Ryan about it, and Ryan was like, you know, if you wanna come on and, you know, host with me, see what it's all about. And it's just, you literally are like the kindest person I have ever met in my entire life, bro.
Yeah,
you really are.
Ryan, Howie.
Yeah, but you two are a lot alike because it was kind of interesting. Like Ryan had me on the show, and like him and I just vibed. And I'd only met Ryan in person like once or twice, maybe 3 times. And even now, until Christmas, I hadn't seen Ryan in person in like a year.
It had been a while, and even when I saw you,
it work so much alike. Now it doesn't make sense to me because y'all work alike. Y'all started this alike. Why I'm able to vibe with both of you so well. So,
well, I definitely appreciate everyone, you know, helping out and, you know, being a part of the show.
He's nicer than me, though.
I mean, you're pretty great. You're pretty great, Howie.
Yeah.
No. You haven't seen the other side.
the hitman side of the
hitman side.
You're being good. I've been real good.
Hitman has been on a little hiatus recently. On a vacation somewhere.
We tucked him in a cave. In chains.
Well, let's just hope nobody decides to bring him out or poke the bear to bring out the hitman.
Yeah, when that comes out. Buckle down, bitches. Here it comes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I was
think
gonna-
about it,
I was gonna throw something out too with Angie, because so right after my mom had passed away, and I was still living in the house where she was in, and Ryan was in town or something. Him and Angie were at my neighbor's house, and Angie, I don't know why I just thought about this, but I figured I would share it. And Angie, I was like mad at the world at that point, so I was like throwing an axe or something at my house on the outside of it. Do you remember that, Ryan?
yeah, I saw the video. I did a Facebook Live, and
I don't even know what I was doing, but Angie was the first person that had like an encounter with my mom after she had passed away, because so I was throwing their axe, and Angie like beelined straight back to my neighbors, and I was like, well, what's wrong with her? And she's like, your mom does not want you to be throwing an axe at the house. And she was like, and I was like, oh, okay. Of course I still did it just because, you know, I was just mad at the world at that point. But I don't know what made me think of that, but I've had lots of interactions with my mom years later, but it took me a while, and I thought like it was really cool that somebody, even though it was like that kind of interaction, I was like, wow, like that was cool, because like looking back on it, that's the first person that I know encountered my mom after she had passed away. So anyway, I just thought I don't know what made me think about that, but I was like, that was pretty cool. After my mom died, yeah,
that was just before your kind of awakening.
Oh yeah.
So to have someone come over to your house, he had never met before, and had never met your mom before.
Yeah.
Obviously, to have her have that kind of interaction, and for you to know for sure that she is still there, she's still with you. Yeah, that's an amazing experience, and I'm glad I was able to be there with you to see that. And honestly, I thought for sure that one of us would be there with her, because I thought one of the acts was going to bounce off and hit one of us in the head.
I don't even know what I was doing. I don't even know, but yeah, I figure Angie might like to know that, because I hadn't talked to her really hardly since, just, you know, in passing, you know, on Snapchat or whatever, like, hey, what's up? But I've never shared that with her, so yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, that's an awesome story, and I definitely appreciate you saying that. And I will find the Facebook Live and send that to you, so you see how, you know, see the ash flying out. I think you're moving. That's why you're like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, no, I left that house a mess, because I think I didn't want anybody to move in as soon as I moved out, so I made it to where they couldn't.
Oh yeah,
they had to do some work on that house before they let somebody move in. But yeah, Angie, I just remember, like, she just looked at me. She was like, your mom does not want you to be throwing an axe at this house. And I was like, okay. But like, I felt that, like, I was like, yep, my mom definitely just said that to her.
It's
So
like, you
yeah,
know that she wasn't bullshitting you. You're like,
yeah.
yep, she was here. Yeah. So Rhonda,
Yes.
she is one of my other co-hosts. She's also the co-host of the Orion Effect. And I'm going to go back when you first started out at the Orion Effect compared to now. How comfortable do you think you are with,
Oh my
with
God.
doing this?
See, the first time I did the Orion Effect, I was a guest. And talk about Howie will press your envelope, because he didn't give me a choice. He messaged me one day and he said, so you're coming on the show on this date. I was like, I'm doing what, with who, with when? Yep. I've got the 18th of December available, and you are coming on the show as a guest. And I was like, I don't do public speaking.
Like, nope.
Psych.
You'll be fine. So nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck, like a wreck. But I did it. And he's like, you survived it. And then I don't even know how I ended up doing the show full time. It just kind of morphed into that. I still get nervous though. And certain guests, I feel like I really have to prepare for, because I always check out if I guess I don't know who it is, but there's some you just feel like you've got to really prepare for more than others.
I feel that so much right now.
And like Ryan acts like he's not a natural at this, but I'll say, so Ryan, what are we gonna talk? Like, what are we? I'm winging it, and I'm like,
Yeah, whatever.
I
will
feel
say-
like I can wing, Ryan. So help me here.
I do have a list. I do make a list of questions sometimes just to stay focused and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I like to start off the conversation very much how they got into the paranormal, stuff like that, and then we'll kind of go from there. And usually the guest will take the conversation where they want to take it, and I'll just start asking questions to what they were saying.
Yeah.
I'll try to pick up on some things like, oh, I saw a ghost when I was a teenager, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's a plot point I can go back to and be like, okay, well, let's talk about this and explore that some more. And so yeah, but for the most part, I do have a list of questions. It helps me feel more secure in like what I'm talking about, just in case I somehow have a brain fart and my brain stops working, which does happen sometimes, where I could just like, I cannot think, I can't talk. Maybe I'm having a stroke or something. I don't know.
A mild stroke over here.
See,
Yeah.
I love
Mini
strokes. I
aneurysm.
have that one up there in the middle. He's over there. He likes to get me giggling where I can't breathe. And he knows when I'm crossing that line where I'm almost there. Like, I literally can't breathe.
I'm trying to be serious. God, stop.
I remember Ryan, you and I did the show with E.L. Gwynn.
Oh my God.
Eh,
I mean,
Oh my god.
so
honestly, I
uncomfortable.
it was an interesting show, but he
Yeah.
pisses me the other day is because I'd said something about not doing the show because I was sick, and he was like, oh no, show you, we would love coming on there. So I give shout out to EL. Thank you for coming on the show and being a part of it. It was an interesting conversation.
What
But
happened?
there are a few times when I looked at CR and I'm like,
I need to know.
We had a side chat going, and it was like, oh my God, dude, what's going on?
yeah. And
There's
Yeah,
no
obviously.
Ryan will just have a look on his face and I know what I love when we had like Luna Paranormal was my favorite. I love Luna and Nolan. But when she actually said, because Ryan's not really delved into this, she was like, oh yeah, I saw a troll and he's got this look like I was like, oh yeah. And
Oh,
I started laughing. He said, thank God for saving me.
Usually when he has
Rolls.
a look on his face, I'll
There was
message
a
him.
look.
yeah. Or you'll sometimes you'll have a guest on is talking some shit. I don't know, and I'm like, I'll message CR and you hear boop. It's usually me. So I message him going, okay, what the fuck?
Here's one. This is what you're looking for too, and I'm just going to do it on air because it's the 10th anniversary, so I get the right to do this. You can see him. He looks like he's really intense, and then he'll go. Like, yep, there it is.
Thank you for that tell. Now I know.
So look out for that.
So
Yeah, I mean that's
I get to play host again. I want to do this because this is your
Okay.
show, dude. It's about you. So let's start with you, Ryan. Ryan, do you, out of the multiplicity of many moons of shows, what's some of the shows that stand out for you, man?
Yeah.
the shows. One of the shows that stood out for me, and I don't even think I was even on it that night. It was we had Pat
Hold on,
Broussard.
CR jet out on us, man. What? No, you get
Oh
back.
man, get into the
Get back
juicy
where
part.
we are.
Hopefully he'll make his way back onto the show. We had Pat Broussard come on the show. And for those of you who don't know, she is an awesome photographer. She is part of the Southern Gypsies, I think.
What is
That might have
what's that?
changed. It was Holly. Well, it used to be Holly, Pat, and Misty and Ashley.
Now the
Pat
sister.
O'Keefe.
Oh yeah, Misty
Yeah, Pat
Ashley. Where are
O'Keefe.
they?
Yeah, the sisterhood.
We gotta get them back on the show. They're still
awesome.
doing their things. They're the Sisters of Salem. but we were talking. I don't even know what we're talking about because again, I think I was listening to the show. I had to do something, and I was driving home, and they were talking. I think it was her and Holly, and this guy kept talking like over them, and I'm like, who is this? Who is the guy?
Right.
And who's this person who keeps talking over? I said, message Holly, and who is that? I thought it was just you and Pat. And she was like, it was just me and her. We had a guest. So that's happened
Like
a few times.
supernatural guest?
Supernatural guest, yeah.
Uninvited
Wow.
guests.
EVPs. I remember doing a live show from St. Albans. With Amanda, she was there.
Mhm.
One time we did a Halloween show with Howie, one of our 2-hour just talk fest, and we heard a little girl decide to join us on the show. So when they're able to capture. And I'm thinking, well, sometimes with the phone line, you'll be able to. Sometimes you'll hear different conversations, but this is through the internet on a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't usually happen. If it was like a cordless phone, sometimes you'll get like crossover, I guess, from different conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes that rarely happens, but not on the phone calling into a internet radio station.
Yeah.
So of course, we have reoccurring guests on the show, Howie, Dennis. Of course, being able to talk to people, different teams from around the country. Even I've had people call in from England.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean it's hard for me to say favorite shows because
That's
I love talking to everybody as long as they can talk and are somewhat entertaining.
What about you, Amanda? Do you have a favorite show or a show that you recall while you were on air with Ryan that comes to mind?
Oh, I don't know. I know I loved doing the shows when I did. I think I stopped right around when my mom died. Is that right, Ryan? I can't remember 100% why I stopped, but yeah. But I can't really think of a favorite or I remember interviewing Pat O'Keefe, maybe.
That's Pat Broussard.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, so I remember that for some reason sticking out to me. But other than that, like it was always entertaining and fun and new and going with the flow. I want to come on and go more in depth about my spiritual awakening.
I would love to have you on. I'd love to have you do a show. Honestly, we have.
I don't know about jumping in that hard, that much.
They like to
Whoa.
Here I'm pushing you in. Shit.
But yeah,
It's a train.
because I think I think it would be fun to get back into all of that because it's been so long, and I'm definitely mentally there now where I wasn't before for a while. So yeah.
You know what? We'd love to have you back. Come
Rhonda?
on, you can help us out on the show sometime.
Yeah.
We're on Tuesday nights now from 9 to 10. But
no, I've listened a couple of times. Not since you switched over to this. What is this again? StreamYard?
StreamYard, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't know when you switched over to this, but I was listening there for a while until I stopped listening to anything and everything. But anyway, I feel like because I don't get to talk very much about my whole spiritual awakening because I'm not around people that get it a lot, because I'll start talking and then I see like deer in headlights and I'm like, okay, I'll just stop now before you think I'm insane. So it'd be nice
Bible Belt.
yeah. So it'd be nice to be able to like fully open up about it and like tell everything that I've experienced since then.
I would definitely love to hear your story. Like
Yeah.
really.
That one.
Yeah.
It's all
been
about
intense.
talking with like-minded people
That's
about
Exactly. Exactly.
stuff
Mm-hmm.
and open-minded. And that's another good thing about this whole thing, whether it be the Orion Effect, the Rift Radio Network, the Vibe Radio Network, is bringing people together to help people feel more comfortable in their own skin.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think
you
we had a
hear
common
these
goal.
stories about Amanda, Sarah, Rhonda having these gifts.
Yep.
And people might hear and be like, "Oh yeah, I kind of relate to Sarah what she went through, or relate to Amanda what she went through." And maybe she'll be like, maybe she'll message Amanda, be like, "Hey, I heard you on the show."
Yep.
What
are they like in real life? Let me really.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Same.
People
Exactly.
hear that I'm an evidential medium and they automatically think that I can see their family members. And I'm like, that's not how this works. They have to come to me. I don't go to them.
I mean, I had that today when his friends were there. When she left, she's like, "So did she pick up anything?" I was like, "I wasn't trying to."
Right? Like this. I just don't go around seeing dead people. This is not Sixth Sense.
I see dead people. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of misconception with all that too. Like there's somebody that I didn't. So Evan, Ryan, you know Evan.
Yeah.
Evan Brent. Yeah. So he recently had a spiritual awakening, and I feel like he'd be really somebody cool to have on your show because he's still in the new of it, and he wasn't into the paranormal or anything like that beforehand. So he went from not experiencing anything ever to holy shit, what the fuck just happened to me? Like, and he's still, I'm trying to like walk him through the whole thing, but he needs some people in his corner too.
Was he skeptic before he had this awakening?
Yeah, like he had never, he's only 23, I think. But he wasn't ever even like religious. He was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. It's whatever. And he had something really not crazy, but he witnessed something that wasn't a near-death experience, but it triggered a whole spiritual awakening. And he's still very he doesn't know what to do. Like he's going in a million different directions, and he doesn't have many people to talk to because everybody's telling him, go get on medication. You're crazy. And I was like, people are going to say that, dude. Like they're going to say that you're crazy because they just don't get it.
Ridiculous.
Hey, Taryn. Yeah, it's like when you're going through something like that and you don't have anyone to talk to, and a lot of guests would tell me the same thing. Growing up, I didn't have anybody to talk to about my experiences, so I shut it down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got older and I realized that there are more people like me out there, that I started opening up to it. And I've been trying to get him to come out, even go out to the cabin, walk around and check it out. And I would love to talk to him and help him out, point him in the right direction. Just for me, it's I approach the show or approach the question, answering questions as someone who doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Not saying I don't, because I do at some points. I do know what I'm talking about, but I like to approach it like that. So when people who don't know about this stuff are watching or listening to the show, that's the perspective I'm trying to give. So some of the questions I ask may sound kind of like lower level, but I'm trying to get that perspective. So, people who have never experienced the stuff you guys are going through could.
Well, that's why they're guests. I mean, we're trying to make sure that they're the ones in the spotlight. I mean, that's one of the things that we always agreed when you first started this, and actually when I started mine, is they are their focus. That's you don't go tearing a guest down. I mean, you can go to other podcasts and other shows and listen to the teardown, but it's actually about the guest. It's their show. We're just asking the questions. And I think
we invited them to come on.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot of pressure off the hosts because all we're doing is asking questions. It's not up to us to, I guess it's kind of
a debate.
Be entertaining to make it entertaining, but
right, the entertainment part. You still
Yeah.
gotta, if there's a small debate going on, then let the debate happen and talk it. I mean, that's the educational part too, because the viewer gets to see your intelligent side and the host side. And it happens. I mean, perfect example was tonight. I mean, it
Oh, yeah.
happened. I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I love? I love learning
Yes.
new things from people. Like John, when he came on, I learned so many things I had never known about.
Mhm.
Or
That's
even
the
just
best
different
part.
perspectives of what you think you already know that suddenly
Mhm.
makes you go, whoa. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
And that's
different experiences people have had. Go ahead.
it goes back to even learning from like when we had you on, Sarah, in heaven, learning about your experiences, and Rhonda, same thing. And Amanda, when I have you back on the show, I'll be learning from you. I'm always looking to open myself up, my spiritual journey. If it's well documented, me not be able to concentrate for like 2 seconds to meditate. But it's hearing different people's perspectives. And we went from the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show to starting a whole network with the same idea of learning things, learning about the paranormal, or with CR show, learning about talking about forest rangers or working on naval ship, or he did a show about model trains, learning about model trains. It's whatever you want to talk about, whatever, because there is somebody who wants to listen to it.
Yeah.
There's
So
always a viewer.
exactly. We've got some stuff coming up here. Sarah and I are going to start a show about amusement parks.
Yeah.
That's going to be doing that here.
Oh, that's cool.
Of course, Rhonda and Howie on the Orion Effect and all their shows on the Rift Radio Network, which is just an amazing network with, all these awesome shows. And I love the fact that we can all come together and share each other's stuff and, really be truly sister networks. Is talking about para-unity. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Collaboration at its finest.
Exactly.
The one thing that I absolutely love is finding new friends. In this field, like you become almost best friends with everybody that you meet.
Right.
Because you just become so close, and like especially with like the podcast, like John, him coming on, I was like, oh my gosh, I really vibe with him. He's really cool, and now we're friends.
John's
and so
awesome.
it's just John is really cool. He's a really cool dude. And like Howie, like you are like phenomenal. You're so funny. And Ryan, man, like we are like, I feel like we're so close. You know what I mean? And like
we talked about that on the chat. Like we're like brother and sister, and we basically just met back in October.
Wow, that was weird too.
Yeah, we that was a whole experience.
I think I shocked Susan when I was quite blunt with her the last time. She's like, That was pretty funny. I'm pretty blunt at times, and I was pretty
You
blunt.
are very blunt, but it's very funny. It's very like sometimes you need those bursts of laughter.
Yeah.
So I have to pose the question out there, Ryan, because you made it 10 years. What do you want to see in the next 10 years happen for your show?
Oh, I mean, I don't even know. Just to keep being able to keep doing it, learning, growing. People still interested in checking it out, and helping more people feel more comfortable in their own skin, and help people to learn that it's okay to be you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
A voice for the people.
Yes.
I think here in the next like a couple of years, there's going to be the people who are like us are going to like triple in number, because I feel like it's like it's just beginning, like the whole awakening thing. I feel like everybody like I'll go to bed and then wake up and one of my friends is like, wait a minute, this thing that you said like 3 months ago on Snapchat, I get now. And I'm like, really? Like more people are starting to get it. So I think your show is about to just for the fact that it's been around so long and it's not new and it's not bullshit. Like I feel like people will be, it'll be way more than it already is, and it's already, awesome, but you just be prepared, because I feel like there's going to be a lot more.
I am excited
Yeah.
About where the show is going to go. I'm excited about, where the Vibrator Network is going to go. I'm excited about Sarah's show. I'm excited about Rhonda joining us on the show. I'm excited about Amanda coming back into the fold. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Definitely we're going to stay in touch more. Because for a while we didn't talk, wasn't for anything like, bad or anything. We just kind of lost touch.
Yeah. Well, I did that. I did with everybody. Like I lost touch with myself, with reality. So, but
hold on. With saying that now, Amanda, there's a lot of people down your way that happened with. I mean, think about the crew that you used to run with. They've all fallen off.
Mm-hmm.
The Paro crew, look at Paige. Paige doesn't do anything with the paranormal anymore. And I get that, she's got a family life, but she was pretty hardcore. And so it is a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot going on. And yeah, little sister, if you're watching, hi, I still check on you. But it's true. You think about it, down your way, it's more selective. And it's just a culture thing.
Yeah, I mean, we live right here on the Bible Belt. You want to say and I just came out to my whole entire family and was like, look, I'm not a Christian anymore, and I've grown up as a Christian. Not that I don't believe in God, but the way I look at it is I'm a child of God, because religion divides everybody, and nobody you can be spiritual without being a Christian who fits people in a box, so yeah, that was a big deal for me. Is and I think that's a struggle with everybody around this area, is they've grown up a certain way, and then when you have a spiritual awakening, you're like, okay, well maybe everything I've been told my whole life isn't 100% true.
Right.
And then it's a struggle.
100%. Yeah. And Christian people, I have noticed a lot. My mom is Roman Catholic. Like she is hardcore Catholic. And anytime I bring up anything paranormal, it is, oh, the devil. You worship the devil.
Possessed of the demon.
It's so crazy. She's like, oh, you're going to bring home some demons. You're going to get possessed. We're going to have to call, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nah.
It's such a stereotype. Yeah.
It is 100% so stereotypical. Like your daughter is an evidential medium. I see ghosts. Like from when I was a little baby, your mother saw ghosts.
People.
Yeah.
I see dead people. Like, you know this about me. And it's just,
well, I mean,
I don't know. Christian people would drive me insane.
Well, it's the first thing. The minute you're in the paranormal or you're a psychic medium or somebody who even classifies themselves as sensitive, they automatically think you don't believe in God.
Right.
Yeah, that's not
true. Because I'll be like, no, that's my boss. He's the one.
Yeah, like I'm a child of God.
He's the one who gave me the gifts that I have. So yeah, no, I believe. I mean, he kind of tells me what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
That misconception that if you believe in something outside of the norm,
yeah,
Correct.
at all.
You're
all around.
Yeah.
That's
and I shouldn't say Christian people drive me insane. I should say those kind of Christian people that are just in that box drive me insane.
And Ryan creating the show it gives the voice. And this allows people to understand that there's people out there that are like you.
Yeah.
That's why I was really excited for him to do this show when he first started. I was like, dude,
I didn't know the direction
Education.
of where the show was going to go when we first started. You know, it was
Yeah, I
just
don't
more,
think any of us did.
again, winging it because I was like, I don't know what I'm
We
doing.
went from peeing in bathrooms to wood burgers to
Yeah,
Peanut bathrooms.
sexual innuendos to paranormal freaks to
A whole entire show about masturbation.
yeah.
I mean, you know, like we covered the gamut of. You can tell just from there to where we are now, big difference. You know, like on Tuesday, we're having John Pagano from Henricus Historical Park come on, talk about the formation of Henricus, you know, the city of Henricus, like what happened after Jamestown
Yeah.
to lead the settlers to move from Jamestown to Henricus, which is just not a story that not many people know.
But to give you right, John came to you and said that he needed to talk about Henricus.
Yeah,
He came
That
to
was a-
the show
yeah.
and said, you know, that, and here you are having him on again, and it's not even been what, a month and a half, 2 months.
No, it's been 2 weeks since we had him on.
See, that I think that shows a lot right there.
Mhm.
You know, it's the integrity of your show and these people who trust you as a host to bring that they need to talk, and you give them the platform.
Mhm.
It's an honor to talk to everyone who decides to join doing the show. Still got to be like, oh crap, do you want to come on? Do you want to join me? Okay, that's awesome.
Right.
That is so cool. It blows my mind sometimes.
And I agree, KB. I think we
But
all,
yeah.
a lot of us have that format, and
Mhm.
that's the
Yes.
format that we should have. Open forum.
It's more of a conversation than an interview.
Exactly.
With
That's
the
why I
show.
call when Rhonda and I do our show. That's why I have at the very end of the dialogue, cosmic coffee table, because
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool, yeah.
you know, we're all sitting around, we're all talking, we're all discussing. It may not be a fire pit, it may not be all in the same room, but we're discussing and talking about that situation, that subject. You know, it's communicating. We're just not doing it around a fire pit, which me and Ryan have done a lot. But, but you know, that's what it's about. You know.
Definitely, man. Well, you know, I know, you know, we're talking about not doing 2-hour show, and here we are. It's almost 10:20. So we're getting
See,
to
these are
that.
the type of shows that you
It
just want to keep
happens.
talking.
Fish.
Yeah. We've hit on like 20 different subjects. So you got
Yeah.
you got shows lined up for weeks now.
We've got some good shows coming up here, and you know, if definitely have you back on, Amanda,
Yeah, 100%.
for sure. And me and Howie had an idea that Rhonda might not. Well, she only be there. Well, she might want to come out, you know, but I'm going to be on his show on, was it February 12th or 11th or one of those 2 days?
I think
We decided to do the show live from the Brick Rancher instead of
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
the cabin. So maybe we'll have all three of us there.
We will
That'll
do it.
be something.
We're
Are you
good.
doing it in the basement?
No.
No.
Nope.
This is close.
We're
In
not
the
that
den.
extreme.
Yeah.
We're not that great.
Pardon the Anglo-Saxon, but we're grabbing our spiritual balls and giving it a
Exactly. And we got to get Amanda out to
The
out to
360.
Richmond to come out to the cabin on 360. And
I know. I do. I want to come out there.
I'd love
You
to meet
mentioned
you.
like theme parks, like roller coasters or something that y'all are going to do. So I can't remember exactly what town it's in, but it's near where I live, and the abandoned
in West Virginia.
no in Virginia.
Oh.
It's only like an hour from where I live. I can't remember the name. I'll have to look it up. But you can actually go camp there, and it's haunted, and it's like they haven't touched it. Like people, like
abandoned
lots of
theme
kids
park?
died on rides and stuff. It's really small. It's like an old school one, but it would be really interesting to dive into
Road?
that on one of y'all's.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Road trip. Holy crap.
Oh.
Is it God, what's that name? Shawnee?
That was
Yes.
that's
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
I thought
West
it was
Virginia.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it West
Shawnee,
Virginia?
yeah.
It was I thought it was Virginia, but well, either way. But yeah, Shawnee, it's a really, really, really cool place. Like,
Yeah,
That's,
Shawnee.
that's been on a few shows. Of,
Yeah, it
me and
has.
watching.
Yeah.
yeah, I want to go
Blues
camp
Brothers.
there.
The Dead Files and Porters to Hell for sure.
Mhm.
I
And
haven't like
the
I
story
haven't
of that
ever
girl
researched it. Do
that
what?
got
Sorry.
killed. The story of the girl that killed. She was on the swings, and
Yeah.
the delivery
Milk
truck
carton.
person
Yep.
backed it up too
Why I
far. and
never
she
liked the
had to do
swings.
I've watched some historical shows about it, like when I was younger, about like the Native Americans killing
Yep.
those kids
Yeah.
and just like leaving their bodies there for his father to come
Yeah.
by and look. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
First
my
hand, man.
God.
The
I know, I
amount
just
of
got chills.
legends and lures in the Appalachian is just amazing anyway. So I mean, look at Catherine's Furnace. That's another one. That's another place that has a lot of activity. You can go all the way up to all the caverns,
Yeah.
up and down 81. Even Amanda, there's a place near you that's called Stars and Stripes Hotel. Or is it no West? Hold on, Daggett. I just investigated it 2 years ago for taps. Hold on, is it the? Oh, damn it! I hate old age.
I know I hate when I'm like thinking about something and I'm like, okay, I just had it in my mind.
Western Front
Comes to me
Hotel.
all the time.
Western Front.
Western Front Hotel.
Oh.
It's not too far from you, and it has a lot of activity in it. The town is beautiful. That's the other thing. I love the little towns that we have access to go to check out history. It's not just about the paranormal, but the history too. And
Yeah.
take these shows. We can go on the road and
Yeah. Well, no. So I just went to North
Yes,
Carolina.
for you.
I just went to North Carolina like for December. 'Cause some of my family lives down there. And it's Old Highway 58, I
Yep.
think. Yeah, okay. So I'm like a big crystals person. So I took all my crystals and everything. And my friend Jessie, I got her to ride with me down there because I was like, and I didn't tell her anything. I was like, I need to know if somebody else feels this when we're riding through here. And because she's not into any of that. I mean, she understands it, but she's not into any of that. And so we start driving and we stopped at the Lovers Overlook, I think it's
Lovers
called.
Leap.
Lovers Leap Overlook. Yeah, okay. So we stopped up there and the reality shift from just going down that road, we couldn't even walk. Like we got out the car, we couldn't even walk. And I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one that's feeling this, but that stretch of highway right there, super, super, super haunted.
Ooh.
I have an idea. Sarah, Rhonda, we must prepare for a road trip. I got an idea.
You know,
We
I'm
ought to
always
do-
down for a road trip.
We ought to do it, right? I think we ought to like take once a month with a collaboration
Mhm.
of the networks.
Oh, and
And
take
do
it
a-
somewhere.
Yeah. We
I-
can
I've been saying this for months that I wanted to do that. I mean, months.
take it on the road. Take
Right.
it on the road, Jack.
Hey, we did a Vibe Network event at St. Albans, and we had a lot of people come out for it.
Yeah, we actually went
Um,
live twice from St. Albans. We had two walkthrough. Two was a 3-hour show, 3-hour shows. What I mean, collaborate and you just do it and let the host or hostess, hey, y'all want to ride? Can you what? All right, who's doing what? And let's roll out. Let's pick a
Yeah.
location and go and do it. So
Sounds
I
like
want
a
to see
plan.
Cold Harbor so bad.
oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. We talked about doing that or just doing kind of going out there and doing some investigating during the day. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
oh yeah.
But talking about having to pee, I've been having to pee for like past 20 minutes.
Like,
We started the end with the
I need to
thing.
go.
There's me moving around a little bit. I'm like, okay.
do the pee-pee dance.
Yeah, the tea I was drinking, it's kind of so
Going
Suck
through.
that pee.
I want to thank everyone for coming on the show tonight. I definitely appreciate every single one of you, all my guests. all the hosts that have been a part of this show for 10 years. It's going to be we have a lot more coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sarah, she's an amazing co-host. I'm super excited to have her a part of the show. CR,
I'm very
she's
excited.
freaking awesome.
Mhm.
Rhonda is amazing. I'm so glad that she decided to join us. Amanda, of course, I love you, and I'm glad to have you back in the fold. And Howie,
Yeah.
brother,
Thanks for having me on.
We went Howie
love
and
you.
Ryan, the OGs.
The OGs.
yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of
The
are now.
goats.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, guys, thank you.
Bring it up. Yo.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, too
And
much.
we'll be
coffee.
back here Tuesday night with John Pagano talking about Henriquez
Yeah.
Historical Park. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. Let's talk about first. Would be like Howie. What do you have coming up on your show?
Actually, we are getting ready to actually interview. Let me bring that up.
He said, I wasn't prepared.
See, yay, it's not just me, because Ryan, you'll hit me with that. I'm like, Howie hasn't told me yet.
I don't
He doesn't even know yet.
No, he knows because we talked about it when I was out at the cabin earlier. I was at the cabin. He told me who we have. I just don't remember what he said.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
guys are
nice
talking about the
lady.
Bell Witch
You're a
today.
nice lady.
Oh, the Bell Witch.
We do have a couple of shows lined up. They're going to be really good. We do have some new shows coming to the network. Of course, we have tomorrow night. We have Joni with the astrology criminology side. I love that show.
Ooh.
Keith Ottersberg with the Otter's Den. Tuesday night is Mama Sue, Susan.
She does
and that
readings
is-
and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. Get this, the name of the show is A Bag of Nuts. Gotta love my network. And then, of course, she does her readings and all that on Friday nights. That's the series show.
Yep,
So we got 3 shows coming to air. We're looking forward to it. So yeah, we're really excited about how everything is happening and how, again, I got to bring it up, how the 2 networks are working together, and Rhonda going between the 2 networks, and Ryan and I working together and making some stuff happen, which you'll see this year too. So
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Be
Of course, we
freaking
got
awesome.
Freaking
The
awesome.
freaking most awesomest.
We've got Live Time with Jerry on Tuesday nights. I'm sorry, I don't know who she has on. But this Tuesday night we have John Pagano talking.
Stevens this week. John Stevens this week.
John Stevens, that's right. Okay, the Virginia Paranormal Events coordinator, who's a really nice guy.
He is.
And of course, I love Jerry and David. But next week, this Tuesday night, we've got John Pagano talking about Henriquez Historical Park. We'll be here. Same freaking awesome time. Same freaking awesome channel, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to end it right here. And yeah.
See you next
guys
time.
in 10 years.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, freaks.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.